I'd like you to welcome the present lead singer, John Farnham, and the original lead singer, Glenn Shorrock.
Oh, it's good to be home.
Welcome. When did you get in?
I got in at 6 o'clock yesterday morning.
Right.
From America. It was good to be home. I miss it so much when I go away.
I got up at 6 o'clock this morning.
You got up at 6 o'clock this morning?
Yes.
And you're all the way from Balmain?
All the way from Balmain, yes.
That's fantastic. John, where were you when the Beatles arrived in '64?
I was nearly 15. I was standing outside the Southern Cross.
In Melbourne?
Waving, yeah.
We're going to have a look at footage of that later on because it became very dangerous, didn't it?
Yes, it was pretty well of a crush, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember that much about it, quite honestly. The crush was pretty incredible, but I mean, just looking up there at the rooms, waiting for him to come out was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Did you wag school for it?
I don't know what day of the week it was. Probably, yeah. If it was a school day, I would have wagged it.
You're going to get there anyway.
Yeah.
and Glenn, you were by that time in the Twilights.
Yeah,
You've been going a couple of years, hadn't you?
We got going.
Let's hear it for the Twilights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few old people here. Yeah, I got going in '62, Mike, and by the time the Beatles got here, I was a weekend pop star and working in the drawing office by day.
Right. And you were in Adelaide in those days?
In Adelaide, and I remember them coming. We took a day off work and we stood on the side of the road, 300,000 people, and just an amazing situation.
Yeah.
A third or something like that of the whole population of Adelaide was out to welcome the Beatles from the drive from the airport into the centre of the city.
Yeah. How much, John, did they influence your desire to go into show business? I mean, they did really create such a high at the time, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I was never really interested in going into show business at all. I mean, I'd always sung at parties. I'm originally English, and, you know, at every party that we had, everyone always sang, you know. I knew the words to You Are My Sunshine before I could say Mum and Dad. In the harmony. So, but, I mean, that whole thing was too big for me to even conceive of getting into.
Really? So it didn't affect you that much. What about you, Glenn, with the Twilights? Did you become Beatloid all of a sudden?
Oh, yeah. We were a three-piece Kingston Trio type clone for a while there. And then the Beatles came along and shifted everything 300 yards sideways, and one thing led to my mother, and we were married within the hour, sort of thing.
Yes, right. But you went to England then, didn't you, after a fair bit of your group being together?
Yeah, and we won the Battles of the Sound. Battle of the Sounds, Hoadley's Battle of the Sounds. Left for England in 1965.
Right.
Came back in '66.
And did you record at Abbey Road, which is where they were making their records then?
That was one of my fondest memories. The snow was falling, nice winter's night, and we walked into Abbey Road Studios to record our first English records, and the bloke said, "Oh, you come here at a good time," he said. He said, the group's in tonight. He said, what group? He said, the Beatles. We all fell about, you know, because we were nuts over them. And it so happened that we were in one studio and they were in the next studio recording Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields Forever, you know, two of their classic tracks. And I, of course, crept up the corridor and stuck my ear to the door and heard McCartney putting down vocals like order fish and finger pie, you know. I didn't know what that meant, but...
Right.
Very deep.
Yes.
Very meaningful, yeah.
And George Harrison came in, actually. None of the Beatles came in, but George Harrison came in and gave us a thumbs up. Jolly good, lads. Carry on.
Yes, he was their producer, wasn't he?
Yeah, lovely bloke.
You did finally sing with Ringo on the Parkinson show.
Yeah,
that must have, I mean, looking back to when you first saw them, you must have thought, oh, this could never be.
Yeah, well, I used to dream about Lennon calling me up and saying, you know, actually physically dream of Lennon saying, hello, Glenn, we need a singer, you know, we hear you sing. And then, you know, sure enough, 20 years later, whenever it was, I ended up singing Honey Don't with Ringo live on Doug Parkinson, Michael Parkinson's show. So the circle turned, you know,
yes.
and completed itself.
Yeah, right. You sort of gave yourself, you did sort of become a member of the group by remote control, yeah. What about with your marvellous version of Help, which you're doing for us today? Beautiful version of Help.
Thank you.
As I understand it, John really wanted to record it as a ballad himself at some stage.
Yeah, apparently so. After he was murdered, I'd read a couple of interviews that he'd done just before that happened, and he apparently said that he wanted to re-record the song as a ballad. Which I was thrilled about, because I'd had that idea for about 8 years. And I'd always love the song. I think that's one of my favourite Beatles songs of all time.
Had Paul heard it?
Apparently he's heard it, yeah, but he hasn't sent me any invitation to join his band or anything like that. No money came, nothing.
But you didn't hear back, 'cause like, Paul's heard your version of Help. It wasn't
No,
one of those.
I was told he was quite pleased with it.
You'd have to be. It was great.
Well, thank you. But you know, you never know.
That's the only compliment I'm paying.
It's downhill from here. It's all a man for himself. But it's funny. I mean, you guys were in music in the 70s, and of course you still are today. But the 70s after the 60s, it was a total different ballgame, wasn't it? There was a hysteria, there was a fun, there seemed to be an innocence about the 60s and the music.
Yeah, there was. And the business here really started to grow up around about the 70s, you know.
Well, the Beatles changed it from being a fad and a hobby into an art form and a business, and
Accepted.
Took it away from, you know, so-and-so, so-and-so, and the so-and-sos,
Yeah.
to the group being the major thing.
The whole thing, yeah. Now, you're both going to sing for us later on. You're doing Help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And you're doing a rock and roll medley.
I'm doing some of the early Beatles tunes, yes.
Right. And then you both get together for a big blast at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, John, you were at Festival Hall, as I understand it, in Melbourne when they had their concert.
Yeah, I was way down the back. I mean, they were just 4 pimples on a pumpkin down the front where they were. I didn't hear a thing.
Didn't hear a thing?
So much screaming and carrying on going on. It was unbelievable.
Okay, well, I'm going to play a bit of it now. Okay,
The Melbourne one.
right. The Melbourne concert, yes. So
Has it been remixed so you can hear them?
Yeah.
you can actually hear them on this one.
Turn the VTR on at home. Get this bit.
Hey, that's illegal, but anyway, we'll give you a try. All right, we'll catch up with John and Glenn later on. Thank you for being with us today. It was a very special day. And for all of you who are at the concert in Melbourne, this is what they actually sounded like. Back in a moment.
To you, I think